Hi everyone, welcome back to Plum Mashable. So for this week's decoration, I'm going to be going to the Olympics. So let's go ahead and dive right in. This feels a little bit like grand final week. I kind of have no idea what I'm doing and I'm just gonna see if this works. So I have a couple of things I have pre-done some stuff. So I have a bunch of these little silhouette sport people. So I've got a bike rider, I've got an archer, got someone boxing, I've got swimming, etc. I'm going to put those as kind of like my stickers. I'm going to do that later. But the first thing I want to do is do the Olympic rings, because to me that's, you know, the whole thing. So I've grabbed 5 bits of cardboard, or I have used cardboard. Obviously you could use paper, but either or. I have more coloured cardstock than I do coloured paper. And then I'm going to grab out my infinity dies. These are the circle ones. Now I could have cut these with my Cricut, which is how I cut all the little silhouettes. I'm choosing to do it this way so that I can show you guys that you don't necessarily need a Cricut. And I prefer die cutting this way anyway. I don't know why. So I have picked out 2 of the rings that I think will make or 2 of the circles, sorry, that will make the rings. So you can do this together or separately. So you can either cut out the circle and then cut out the inside circle, or you can cut it both at once. I actually find cutting them at once is not that complicated. So I'm grabbing my trimmer. I'm aware that my bit of cardboard's actually a bit too big for that. So I'm grabbing my other trimmer, which I didn't think I was going to need to use, but oh well. So this black cardstock is from Kmart. It is, I believe it's not available anymore because it's the one, oh no, it's the one that's got texture on it, so it probably is still available. So I'll just cut that sort of, so I've got just a little bit so it goes through my die cut machine a bit easier. Then we'll grab some tape. So I'm sticking this down. Get the outside one first. No, do it together. I'm just making sure I've lined these up. The good thing is once these are stuck, you should be able to leave them stuck together. So the next ones will be a bit easier. I'm just going to move my pages off to the side. So bring the die cut machine in. Just run this through. I think this is the right size. I may need to go up a size, but I feel like this is the right one. I measured them on my page, but I wasn't quite sure if maybe they were a little bit too... No, that's the right size. And it doesn't matter that it's not a perfect ring. This is where you could, if you really wanted to be particular about it. Do I really want to be particular about it? Let's have a think. Oh, I'm actually just going to change up the washi tape that I'm using because I forgot that it... Oh, actually no, it's okay. It is going to come apart though. I'm going to try one more time really quickly just to get that centered. So I've just got it down here on my glass mat. I'm just going to run it through again at the bottom here just to see if I can get it slightly more centered. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, I'll just live with this one. And what I'll do now is I'll try really hard when I pull this up off the cardstock to keep the rings together. There we go. So I should be able to run that through because it's stuck together. I'll run that through all of the other colours and then I will be right back. I just want to show you something really quick. If you do happen to move it, so you don't, I've moved the ring there, so I'm just going to put the big one down, take that in, then I'm grabbing the small one and lining it up inside that one that I know I'm happy with. There we go. Take that down, and I'll just go to pull that bit out. I make this look really complicated, and it's really not. I don't know why I always make things look really hard. There we go. I'm pushing that down really hard on the metal to try and get it to stay on for the next time. So just a little side note, if you had scrap cardstock, that would be a really good, this would be a really good project for that. I just don't have any scraps. I gave all my scraps away. The childcare centre that Charlotte goes to was looking for some scraps to use for the kids, and I just gave them my entire collection because I thought, well, I don't really need all these scraps. And it wasn't until I sort of thought about it and I went, oh, actually I kind of do, but oh well. So I'm just starting my scrap collection again. The red cardstock is Kaisercraft, the black is Kmart, the yellow and the green I believe are a cheap pack that I got from either Spotlight or Kaisercraft. No, it must have been Spotlight. It must have been Spotlight. And then the blue one is a bit of Cricut cardstock that I got a very, very long time ago. But just so you know where they're all from. So because I keep messing this up, I'm just going to keep repositioning my circles every time. It's not really that difficult. It's not really that annoying. It's just I would prefer to get them right. So I'm just going to do them each time and make sure that I have them the way I want them. All my rings. I can move my die cut machine off my desk. We can start seeing if we can get this to all fit together. So now I have a picture of the Olympic ring sitting in front of me, so I think I know the colours. I did try and match them as close as I could. And the other thing I'm just going to really quickly do, just tape these two together. By the way, this sort of mess that I have back here, I saw someone had done a washi page full of their mistake washi or leftover washi, or the stuff that has on the ends, like these cruddy little bits. I thought it was such a good idea, so I've started trying to do it myself, but I really only got through one kind of tape, but that's okay. So it goes blue, black, and they are spaced. This is what's funny about the rings. You remember them being further apart, like closer together, but they're really not. They're basically just like that, but they sort of link into each other. So all I'm going to do is for each of them, I'm just going to cut just a little bit, and that way I can put them inside each other. And then depending on if I decide I want to keep them flat or if I want to keep them, and so these ones actually don't clip into each other. I just remembered that. I didn't have to clip them all, but anyway. So the yellow one clips into the blue and the black. So really I need to cut the yellow and the green there, but anyway, the yellow goes into the blue and the black, and then the green goes into the black and the red. So I'll obviously hide the little snips because that's not hard to do, but that's sort of what it's going to look like. Now it's going to take up some room. I'm not going to pretend it isn't, because it is. I'm going to move these up a little bit so that they sit. Actually no, I'm going to, as long as Thursday is not covered, because to me that's the busiest day, I think it'll be fine. I am going to add some washi tape to the top and the bottom. So I've got a bunch of, some of these colours were very easy for me to match. Like I have how much washi tape in this place. And so a lot of the times if I need to use a washi tape, it's a really easy sort of colour match. So 4 of these were really simple. The green, not so much, because I don't seem to have a green that's quite that colour green. I think the closest really is this one, but it's really a bit wide, so I'm just going to see how I go. So I'm going to white out the August on the top. Basically I'm going to do the blue, the black and the red on the top. So it'll go blue, black, red, and then I'm going to do the green and the yellow on the bottom, so it kind of matches along like that. So blue at the top, this is where we spin things around. I'm going to actually pull these 2 pages apart now because I find it easy to put washi tape down in separate, like on separate pages, not across that big space, because it's just a bit much. So we'll put the blue down first. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit of white at the top. Just keep it as straight as you can. So the blue and the red and the yellow washies are from a Kmart collection that I got. I don't even know how long ago, so long ago. And then the black is from Shiamagi Designs, which sadly is no longer open, but I think it's an MT design tape and it's just a really skinny black. I do have others that would have worked. Actually, I'm kind of thinking, is that black or is that navy? Let's have a look. I just want to see, because that one is just not quite as, yeah, no, we won't do that. I do prefer this one as a general rule, this really skinny one, but because I want to cover this entire space up, this one's just that teensy bit wider, so I'm going to use that instead. And then the red, so these are from Kmart, every colour except the green, which will be from the green will be from, oh, it's from Blitzy. It's a Doodlebug tape. So we'll do that. I just want to see what the green and the yellow look like on the bottom. Yellow, green on the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go green on the bottom. The downside to the green is it's got this little stripy thing, which annoys me. I would prefer it to be just plain green, but that's just too dark. It just doesn't work. And this one I think is too light, so I feel like Goldilocks. No, that works. That works. I don't love the green on the bottom. I'm happy to admit it, but it will work for the purposes of this decoration. So I'm going to go ahead and cut off all of the excess here, and then I'm going to do the other side, and I'll be right back. By the way, I'm going to stick all of my extras on this bit of washi paper. The idea here is to just cover the whole thing with tape, I think. And it doesn't really matter what kind of tape and how and why and etc, etc. So all of my washi leftovers, for good washi, not for my holding die cuts down washi, I'm going to put on here from now on, and I'll show you the finished product when we get there. Got our 2 pages. The other thing I want to do is I want to put, and this is the problem, there's 5 rings and there's 7 days / things to do. So what I'm going to do is I want to cut these to be like date covers. So I'm just going to cut 8 and we'll just sort of go with it. So I just want to change up those. So at the top here, I'm going to go yellow, green, blue, black, red, yellow, green, blue. There you go. And I'm just going to use my paper trimmer for this. So I'm just going to cut a little bit of some of these cardstocks. I might have to cut a little bit more off. That's right. So what did I say? Yellow, green, blue, black, red, yellow, green, blue. Right, so I need 2 yellows. So I'm going to cut these. Just want to get the edges straight first because I know I didn't do that before. And if I cut these, I've done this before. Hold on. Because I know this first one's going to be right, or be the right day. So yellow, green, blue. Alright, so I'm also just going to grab one of the blue bits. I do like to use all my little bits if I can. So I'm just grabbing this bit of the blue. just cutting that. So I'm going to use this bit. If I cut it, I might just need to cut it a little bit thinner. This is where I like getting my rainbow tape. The whole thing still. Just taking off my finger protector so I can get a little bit closer. So I'm going to line this up along that second line. That way I know that's straight, and then I can cut this one. Now I've got my fingers well and truly out of the way here, so that way I can cut that down to be a bit thinner. So this will be Wednesday. So I'm just grabbing my Oscar and Lou stickers because I want to use those ones. So we'll put Wednesday, because Wednesday is the longest day. So Wednesday is the 4th. I thought I brought these stickers over. I forgot. Oh, hold on. Let's see if we've got any in here first. Oh, I do. Oh, and I've got a bunch that nearly get the whole rest of the other month. Thank goodness for that. So Wednesday the 4th. Yep. So I cut this one. And I put my tape down. I know if I cut them all to that width, they're going to be right. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my extras. So just so that you know how big this is, because I just kind of eyeballed that. It ends up being 3.8 by 1.95. Go one. Go one. Always get very nervous doing that, but I'm going to cut the heck out of my fingers. But so far so good. So I'm just going to use glue tape to stick these down. Just covering the days. I'm just basically making my own date covers, nothing fancy. So I'm going to go ahead and do this really quick and I'll be right back. So I chose to leave off the black because I'm going to put a bunch of these silhouettes in anyway, so I feel like the black will get covered with that, and I didn't want the red up there and I didn't want to change the order, so I just went with it. Alright, so let's get these rings down and then we can start putting the silhouettes kind of around it. I have a feeling this is going to end up being a bit too busy, but anyway. just want them to be, what's the word I'm looking for here? I want them to be just tacked together. So I'm just moving these around so that I've kind of got the lines hidden. So where I've cut is a little bit hidden. And then I'm just going to come in with a little bit of glue tape, lift that up, stick it down, and because these are glue dots and they're awesome, they rub off really easily. So I'm going to do the same thing, just a little bit of tape where that mark is. So that's just tacked together. They're not stuck, and I'll stick them down when I stick them down. But that's sort of the tacky part done. Okay. Obviously this is going to get cut in half. The black one's going to get cut in half in a minute, so don't panic about that. I am aware. Yeah, I'm just looking at that going, bugger. I need to have them just come in just a tinsy bit because the red ring's going to get in the way of the day. So, because that's just tacked, you can just loosen it. I feel like I'm spending a lot of time getting this 100% right when it really doesn't matter. This is just me being me. It really doesn't matter. I know that, but it's just a Ashleyism. Okay, so now we're going to stick that down. So I find the easiest way to do this is just to put a bunch of glue tape on it. If you don't like glue tape, if you're a liquid glue person, liquid glue will work here as well. I just find glue tape a lot easier. So I'm just going to cover the back of this in glue tape and go straight over where the washi tapes were. And all I'm doing is just trying to be a bit careful so I don't move these around too much and that I don't tear them. That's really all I'm being careful of. Don't have to put it all over the ring, just sort of enough that it's going to stay down. Alright, the only other thing I'm going to do, I'm just grabbing my sand eraser very quickly and very lightly, just on the yellow, because I think that's the only one that I'm noticing it on. There's just a little bit of glue just right underneath it, so I'm just a little bit on the red. Just trying to get the dot off, just by giving that a bit of a rub. Oh, that's actually kind of cool. Alright, so the only thing we need to do now is obviously get these two bits pulled apart. So I'm just removing the little bit of magic sticky tape. The only thing I don't like about magic sticky tape, I love that you can't see it. I love, like, this is the invisible stuff that you pay a little bit extra for. I love that it's matte and it just disappears onto the page. But I hate that it tends to fall apart when you pull it off. It drives me nuts. One of those reasons that you shouldn't use sticky tape for things you need to pull apart. So I'm just following the line of the page, because if I go straight up the middle it should be fine. There we go. Yeah, a bit of tape left over. So that'll be what it looks like when it sits down on the thing. Whew. Really not going to have enough room for any silhouettes here, am I? Oh well. I just want to grab a to-do out of my Oscar and Lou book, just to go down in that bottom corner. I'm actually half thinking I may make that like a medals tally list. I may do that still. I might have like a medal tally. Actually, I have an idea. So we're going to put the to-do on the side, and then because I had some extras, because remember I cut more, I can find where I put the nicely cut ones as opposed to the leftover ones. I was hoping they were still on my mat, but they're not. Oh, but I used them all, didn't I? Yes, I only have the black ones left over. So I do have a black one. So I'm going to put that there. I'm just going to cut another yellow. So I'm going to have another black one, another yellow one, and then the red one. One's going to be Happy Mail. One's going to be Metal Tally. And then one's going to be To Do, because to-dos are important. Now, obviously the downside here is I don't have a sticker that says Metal Tally, or a sticker that says, I do have stickers that say Happy Mail, but I'm just going to write it in by hand so that it matches the other one. So I'm just grabbing one of my jelly pens. This is my 0.8, sorry. Metal Tally and To Do. Okay, I will put some other things down there. I'm not quite done yet, but I just want to get a couple of these silhouettes on. Obviously I'm not going to use all of them. There's a couple here that I like better than others though. So we've got, that's a tennis, that's a badminton. Really, what's different? No, I'm kidding, I know what the difference is. I think that's supposed to be gymnastics. There is another cycling one which I like so much better. I like the Archer, I think he's cool. So I'm just going to have them sort of in and amongst this, because I just think it's cool. I don't want the boxing, I don't want the water polo, I do want the swimming. I definitely want the swimming if I can find it. There's the bike. My Cricut actually did a really good job of this. Sometimes my Cricut can fail me. My Cricut did not fail me. I'm going to have that fencer sitting just over the Metal Tally. So we've got a high jumper, a cyclist, a fencer, a swimmer, an archer, a horse, and then I think that's gymnastics. I'm just having a look and making sure I don't want to switch out any of them for anything else. I've got a discus, I've got a weightlifter, I've got a diver. Do I want to do diving instead of, no, that fits better. Instead of high jump, no, we'll do high jump. Got a long jumper, got basketball, and I just got these off the internet. There's nothing fancy with them. I still need to leave room because I still need to do things, but I think I like that, So, because these are a little intricate and a little bit too worrisome to put through just with glue. Actually, I don't think some of them are going to fit. If I can, I'll stick it down with glue. So the equestrian one's reasonably easy. So I'm just going to grab my tape again and just cover that with glue. It was supposed to go all the way to the bottom of the page. Unfortunately, I ran out of paper and my Cricut just sort of didn't tell me. So there we go. I'm going to stick that one down first. There's a couple of little fuzzies around the outside, but I'm okay with that. This one's not so intricate either, the little swimmer, so that one can go with glue tape. And I'm not going over the rings always, but I'm just having them in places so it looks kind of cool. I actually think most of these, except maybe the cyclist, are going to be okay just to go with glue tape. And I'm just being careful. Not pulling too hard, not going too fast. This one I am going over the ring just a little bit, and I think it actually looks kind of cool. It brings it all in together. I actually really like this. This has turned out better than I thought it would. I'm just folding this up so that I keep some areas free so I don't get glue all over everything, because if this gets stuck on the page, that's when it's going to be easier to tear, or more chance of it tearing. And be really careful with the bike, because that's probably the most delicate, I think, just on the wheel parts. It's alright, it's fine, it didn't tear. And then my fencer, if I start with his, I'm going to say sword, I know that's not what it is, but if I start with his sword it should be easy. I'm going to put him, he is going to take up a little bit of the room of my to-do list, but I think that'll be fine. We'll fencer guy. Or girl. Or girl. My cyclist. Hold on, I'm going to put the cyclist there. I'll come back to it. I just want to make sure I get these all in the right spot. I really like this high jumper. I'd love to know what sports you watch like without fail. So for me, the swimming is my big, whoops, just nearly covered in my data. That would have been horrible. The swimming's my big one, but I love watching the diving. I love watching the gymnastics. Oh, I love watching the cycling. I do love the running, but I don't like the long races. I only like the short races. Trying to think of other things I like. There are lots of other sports that I like too. I just can't think of them off the top of my head. I don't like the fencing because I don't understand it. I do. I get it, but at the same time, it's not as easy as some of the others. But yeah, let me know what are your favorites, because I would love to know. So I'm grabbing the little to-do circles from my stamp set. This is one that I did with Dawn Lewis for my advent calendar a couple of years ago, and I'm just grabbing a bit of that scrap, just making sure that I've got it all where I need it. And I'm just going to line that up on the side here, a happy mail, and I'm going to do the same thing for the to-do. What I am going to do that's a little different, just grabbing a bit of this grab some of my using to hold die cuts down washi tape. I'm just putting that down over the top of my other washies because I'm going to use it to protect that from the ink. So I just want this to go all the way to the bottom. So I've used the washi to hold it down, and then I'll just stamp those other two dots. I can pick that up, and then my whole thing's protected. I'm going to do the same thing with the to-do. I'm just using Lawn Fawn Jet Black ink, but any kind of ink is fine. It doesn't have to be a particular kind. And then I'm just going to go over the top of the fencer because he's black. I don't think you'll see the dots all that much anyway, and if you do, it won't really stand out. Go, and then I think I'll just put, so for the gold, silver and bronze, I have gold, silver and bronze washi tape. So these ones are from Target. I'm going to grab them, I'm going to stick them down on a bit of that scrap paper. This is only, you could stick the washi tape straight down, but I just find it's really painful to put through my hole punch, which is what I'm going to do with these. So just by putting them on a bit of that scrap paper, so I'll put a little bit of the silver. I'm just going to check that this is going to be wide enough for the hole I want to punch. Yeah, it's fine. So I put the gold, the silver. I don't need to put this much, but I'll put the excess on that piece of washi paper. Washi, you know what I mean. This is actually rose gold, and I'm just thinking, do I have something that looks a bit more bronze? That's a bit better. It's still rose gold. It'll do the job. It'll do the job. Shiny washi. Could have done a whole Olympic week just using gold, silver and bronze thing, couldn't I? Oh well. I'm just going to punch these out. So I'm going to use the 5/16 of an inch hole in my crocodile. Just making sure I don't lose the hole. So this will obviously be the tally at the end of this week. This is the Australian tally. This will be what I'm keeping track of for the Aussies. But I'll do another one for next week. I'll add these in the exact same way. So I can either do it on the like at the end of the week and just have the whole thing, or as they win them, I can do like little marks and then count them up at the end. But it's a little thing, but it's just a nice shiny little addition, and plus who doesn't like the excuse to use metallic washi tape. Anyway, that's my Olympics. Oh, hold on. I can't actually finish that because I need to put my stickers and stuff in. So hold on. I'm just going to really quickly put in the stickers that need to go in. So I've got my daycare stickers that just need to go in on those days. Oops. Still plenty of room here. Like, it's not too full. It's full, but it's not too full. And we'll put the swimming one in. We don't have any doctor's appointments this week. Isn't that awesome? a way that this helps. It doesn't ever get rid of your mark. It'll, especially with black ink, it'll never get rid of the whole thing. But it'll at least make it just a little bit less obvious. So I'm just rubbing that out with the sand eraser. Silly, silly. I'm just having a look, making sure I'm happy with all of that. It needs a little bit more glue there. And then because it's the glue dots, I can just rub them off. Damn, did I get some on me? I must have. Bugger. But I think I'm happy with that. I think that's very different for anything I've done for a little while. It certainly doesn't look like anything I've done for ages. I like the silhouettes, and I like that there's sort of 3 on each page. Well, this one's actually got 4 because the swimming one's so little. But I think that looks really cool. I'd love to know what you think though. Please leave it for me down below, or of course you can find me on my socials. If you did enjoy this one, please give it a big old thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any future weekly decorations. I do lots of different themes, I do lots of different things. So yeah, if you have a suggestion, you can also leave that down below as well. Hope you guys have an absolutely awesome week. Enjoy the Olympics if you're watching them, and I'll catch you again in my next video. Sending lots of huggles. Bye!